Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. Hope you're having a good one. What's good? So we have a lot of stuff going on. So let's hit you with the first one. The first one is, don't forget to invest in yourself today. And if you're watching this show, you've obviously started correctly. Anyway, what else do we have? We have Uphold. The rumor is that Uphold is looking to go IPO. Now, right now, it's just a rumor. I haven't heard anything official, but that rumor seems to be getting larger and larger. So we're going to have to dig in to see if that's actually going to be true. That would be yet another exchange filing for IPO. Remember, Gemini just did it. I don't like Gemini. Everybody knows I don't like Gemini for obvious reasons. Twin reasons, if you may. Then you've got ProShares and Bitwise filing for ETFs that will track the Circle stock, and they're both set to begin August 20th. Now, that's interesting. There are a lot of ETFs out there that track stocks, right? But this one's interesting because it's a specific type of stock. It's a crypto stock. So we're going to see how that goes. Now, it's just a tracking ETF, but ETFs are good for people that don't want to get directly into a specific space. And that's what they're doing, is trying to create solutions for that. Now, as of late, the most remarkable thing that people are talking about that I seem to hear seems to be the CEDAS protocol recovering pretty well. So, they got some money in, 162 million from a $233 million Oracle hack, right? And it's like, all right, well, what are we going to do? Well, Sui stepped in to help prop them up, fix things, offered bounties. And it's like, oh, these guys are really doing something. There's a $30 million loan from the Sui Foundation and a 15% CEDAS token compensation plan, restoring 85 to 99% liquidity pool health. That's why they popped. That's why Sui popped up a bit, because mathematically, that's a good solution. So we're going to have to see how that plays out, but so far, so good. We'll see how that goes. Then you've got Apple's WWDC, Worldwide Developer Conference. So they introduced, the liquid glass. They introduced ideas about AI, but they haven't introduced a lot of real implementations of AI. And people are kind of like, that's all right. Some cool things, but, what you promised last time isn't really here yet. So, we'll see. And that's what that is. Now, the reason why I bring that up is because it involves AI, it involves new technology, and it affects your wallets and your bags if you're investing in new technologies. Not everything's all about crypto. Just saying, not everything's all about crypto. As much as I want it to be, it's not all about crypto. So if you're an investor and you're investing in Apple, this could be a reason why you actually go back and reevaluate things just to make sure you're on the right path. And if you don't, same thing, reevaluate things to see if you're on the right path. Then you have Hong Kong's SFC planning to allow professional investors to trade digital asset derivatives. And that's not a small deal. That's actually a very big deal. I told you before that Hong Kong is looking to become a hub for digital value. And we should all be paying attention to that. All of us should be paying attention to that because they're making big moves. I'm not hearing big moves out of other countries, out of other regions. Well, out of the developed nations, right? Really and true. So it's one of those things that you start to realize, okay, so if it happens over here, it's absolutely going to affect over here. In the crypto world, that's the way it works because crypto is stateless. So you do want to be paying attention to things. And I keep telling people about all of the financial vehicles that exist in traditional finance that have already seeped into crypto finance, right? And it's because of decentralization. Last night, I told you that Chainlink and Visa completed a cross-border DeFi settlement. That's not a small deal. Infrastructures are changing as we speak. And if you're not in at the infrastructure level, by the time you get in later, I'm not going to say it's going to be too late, but the amount of money that you're going to make now versus later. Well, compound, compound, compound. Just saying. Get your act together. Do your own research, know your entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately. That's the GMB3 model. And that will not fail you. The practice doesn't actually fail you. Your choices might fail you, but the practice of doing your own research, knowing your entries and exits, and not just what number, what price I should get in on, what price I should get out at, but it's also how do I buy something and how do I sell something? Meaning specifically where, the timing of it, all of that. Know your entries, know your exits. And investing deliberately doesn't just mean putting your money in. It's knowing when to put your money in, when to pull your money out, and when to let your money ride. And when I say money, I mean your value. Because your value can be in different things. Your value can be in fiat. Your value can be in crypto. Your value can be in businesses and real estate. Your value is whatever investment model you're choosing. Just saying, something to pay attention to. Australian authorities arrested and charged 4 individuals for what could have been a $123 million money laundering ring. Yeah. What's amazing is that people will wag their finger at crypto and say, it's all because of crypto. It's all because of crypto. That's all crypto is. As if fiat doesn't exist. Right? Everything that you're doing over here with crypto, you've already done over there with fiat. So why are you wagging your finger? Those are people that are ignorant. Try to stay away from those people. They're not thinking straight. They're really not. What else we have going on? We have the New York Times signing a massive deal with Amazon. Remember, they're in that lawsuit with OpenAI because OpenAI supposedly used their data outside of the contract, right? And so now the New York Times has signed a historic AI deal with Amazon to license content for training models following lawsuits against OpenAI and while Zimbabwe's president is warned of AI risks. Developed nations and underdeveloped nations, right? Growing nations, we'll call them, all have to look at AI so that they can understand what the implications are, what the impacts could be, and start making real world decisions. It's no joke out there. It's no joke. And I want to bring to everybody's, mindset. It's going to be hard for AI to replace anyone, right? Because humans create, and then AI uses that information to simulate creation. Simulate, right? One of the biggest issues out there is general AI. All right. I forgot. I don't think that's a technical term, but it's the next level of AI, right? And everybody's saying that's what we don't want. Creating that is literally creating the demise of mankind, is what a lot of people say. That's when AI thinks for itself. That could be a problem. And guess who wants to do it? Guess who wants to be the first to do it? Yeah, Mark Zuckerberg. And to think that in the bill, we have a 10-year moratorium clause in it for AI that would allow that. I don't want that. AI could literally just cause an upheaval of the world. Good morning, Hutanik. How are you? So I look at this and I just go, somebody needs to rein in Mark Zuckerberg. Somebody truly needs to rein him in. That is not a good idea, sir. I don't care what rules you think you're going to build around it. It's not a good idea, sir. It is not. All the movies out there, once AI hits a certain level, it annihilates mankind. And I know I'm talking about movies, but those movies are based on some pieces of reality. And unless you can tell me how you're going to write controls and guardrails against that. And again, this is Mark Zuckerberg we're talking about. Young Mr. Facebook. Young Mr. I let everybody and their mama abuse the data that's held in Facebook. Yeah, I don't trust that guy. I don't trust that guy at all. I wouldn't trust him to walk an old lady across the street, because he'd already hit the other side talking about, no, it's okay, the traffic's coming, but it's all right, you can do it. Yeah, I don't trust that guy at all. So Meta getting involved in creating the next level of AI is a bad thing. People need to stop them. Just gonna put it to you like that. Then you've got Floki Inu partnering with Baroda Premier League. You're gonna see a lot of meme coins that actually, have some legs to them. Do things like this. They need to stay relevant. They need to do things. Floki could be the next Shiba Inu, in my humble opinion. Could be. Doesn't mean they will be. Just means they could be. And doing something like this, doing the marketing, we have to see what else they're going to do with their meme. Because remember, Shiba Inu went from meme to real. That's kind of a big deal. Got to pay attention to that. So what else do we have? We've got, just so you know, Bitcoin is currently at 109,357. Just saying. I posted on the Grow My Bag feed. It's a private group feed on Grow My Bag. If you become a big bagger, you get invited to the feed, and it's just big baggers. There's a regular feed, and there's the big bagger only feed. And I posted that to the big bagger only feed. That, have you been paying attention to Bitcoin just inching up? You blinked, it was 106. Now you blinked and it hit as high as 111,687, I think, yesterday. That was only a few $100s off of the all-time high. Pay attention, people. Wake up in the morning and pay attention. What else we have going on? What we've got going on is ex-Wells Fargo manager, an ex-Wells Fargo manager, Tamim Haidar, facing embezzlement charges for allegedly stealing $947 million from ATMs to cover bad foreign currency trading losses between 2021 and 2022. Wow. So you start to realize, yeah, there's start to see things. You start to see things. That's funny the way you type that, Hutanik. You'll see it when you read it. You'll see it. It's funny the way you type that. Ooh, instead of 00. It's funny. What else do we have? We've got Societe Generale and BNY Mellon looking to launch. Actually, they have launched USDCV, a USD pegged stablecoin on Ethereum and Solana, with BNY Mellon as reserve custodian and daily transparency on reserves. Did we not just talk about a few banks that were thinking about creating their own stablecoin? And here we have Societe Generale and BNY Mellon. BNY Mellon is one of the oldest banks in the world, coming out with their own stablecoin, USDCV. And there you have it. Banking industry is waking up to crypto, and they're starting to say, oh, we've got stablecoins. And some of these banks might actually say, well, cryptocurrency is bad, but stablecoins are different. I don't know how they're going to make that argument. I also don't know why I would pay attention to a bank that just does stablecoins. I'm not really into banks. I'm really not. I think banks need to rethink what they do for a living, how they do it for a living. I just straight up don't like banks. I don't trust them. And why don't I trust them? I don't know. They charge you interest on everything. They give you very little in return. Your savings account, how is that called savings? Wow. Yeah. A savings account that doesn't keep up with inflation is not a savings account. I'm just going to put that out there for you. I know. But I'm just saying, how do you figure? Yeah, I'm not going to repeat that. Anyway, you've got Marko Kolanovic. warned of a potential 5 to 10% U.S. stock correction amid Tesla and Palantir slowdowns, economic risks, and trade war concerns. Marco just laid out a whole bunch of big risks, macro risks. Forget about micro risks, macro risks. Kind of a big deal. We should be paying attention to things. Why? Because it helps us grow our bags. I give you the news, then I give you my opinion about the news. Which means that you should be reading the news and forming your own opinion about that news. And specifically about how that news can affect your bags. That's the premise. Those are the lessons that I want my kids to learn. Anyway, you know what we should do? That's right. We should go over the numbers. Let's see if we can do that real quick. Let me get my notes out of the way. We'll just minimize that. Stock market. Wow. Everything seems a bit flat. When you look at stock market, everything seems a bit flat. You've got the Dow opening at 15 or futures at 15, S&P futures plus 5.5, NASDAQ futures plus 25.5, oil up 0.21. Yeah, 10 years down 0.034. Almost unchanged. Let's see, today's Tuesday. Nothing going on today except NFIB Optimism Index. Yeah, okay. Nobody's going to care until tomorrow and Thursday. Those are the big ones. And then you got that squeaker on Friday. CPI, PPI, and then you have consumer sentiment, the preliminary consumer sentiment numbers. Going to be interesting. Fear and greed index is all the way up to 71. Why is that? Well, I don't know. Maybe because Bitcoin is up. Ethereum's up. Positive news. There's a lot. DeFi Llama. Yeah, I didn't set it up. Ooh, there you go. We're currently at 122. We had been down as low as 110, but we're up to $122.984 billion in total value locked. I like that number. Not as good as 125 and above, but we're moving in the right direction. That's kind of what we need. Bitcoin right now is at 109,337. Whoa, don't want to move that. Kind of just want to do this. So your all-time high was up there around 112. And then you can see right here where we hit about, I think it was like the high yesterday, the highest number that we hit yesterday was like 111,687, something like that. But we're currently bouncing above the previous all-time high. There's nothing small about that. I don't understand why people aren't like just singing in the streets, dancing in the streets right now. That's good stuff. And how far away are we from right there? Yeah, not that far. Not that far at all. Yo, Turtle Bitcoin, what's good? And looking at the big board. Yeah, I don't want to see your new stuff. Looking at the big board, this is what I'm looking at. We've got everybody's like, oh my God, everything's green. It wouldn't be good to buy anything right now. How not? I see tons of things that I could still invest in that are nowhere near their all-time high. Ethereum is up like crazy, still not near its all-time high. XRP is up, not near its all-time high. Pepe, Aave, Uni, Link is up $1. I think it might actually be up more than $1 today. But that's still $1. Doge is up. Tau is up. If you're into hype is up. Sui is up. All these things are up. A lot of these things are nowhere near the all-time highs. This is why I give you the GMB X Factor. I haven't shown it in a little while. Why? There could be more news than just a little bit coming later this week. Later this week, we expect to hit 10,000 articles and videos on our site. 10,000. That's a huge number. That is a huge number in less than 3 years. 10,000. And that's not including our 1,100 word knowledge base. It's going to be big. It's going to be fun. And we will let you know. We promise. but we're expecting to make that announcement on Friday. We could hit it sooner. It's looking like we could hit it sooner, but we're definitely going to make it by Friday. Absolutely. I could take the day off, a full day, no articles, and we'll still hit it by Friday. Yeah, we're not playing games over here. We're not playing games over here, right? Is there an incoming retail pump? I don't want to use the word pump. I think we need to get away from the word pump. Here's why. Before you start yelling at me, here's why. This cycle is like no other. And what I believe we're going to see as we move forward, yeah, you'll get things that people will call pumps. I'm not going to call them pumps. I'm going to say they're gradual rises. Why am I saying that? Because more and more people are going to start to get educated. That's why. And that can actually start to bring a steady stream going up. Now you know why I say, if you invest now, you can do a lot better than if you invest later. Just saying, dollar cost averaging. Take a little bit of money. What are you gonna do with that? What are you gonna do with that $10, that $5, that $100, whatever you can afford? What are you gonna do with that? You can go out and buy something stupid. You're gonna buy a chocolate bar that you didn't need anyway. See where I'm going with this? That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. So that's why I'm saying I think there comes a point where you're just going to have retail become more educated. All these banks that are now turning crypto and saying, oh, yes, crypto. Oh, my God, I've always loved you. Yeah, no, they didn't. And they're going to have to start talking to their people about this is why we like crypto. This is what you can do with crypto. Blah, 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 bloody, blah. Yeah, that's what I believe is going to happen. So pumps, no. The gradual and incremental growth, yes. Remember, there are a lot of people on the planet that are not educated in this. And the more people that get educated, the more people are going to be involved. Just saying, just putting it out there for you. This is some simple stuff. This is some simple stuff, and people aren't seeing it. People are going to have to become educated. It's not even a matter of do I want to be or do I not want to be. My sister, let me tell you something. When the internet first came out, I'm not putting my credit card on the internet. Blah, 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 blah. And now she can't live without Amazon. She can't live without, making orders online. Amazon, Walmart, Target, all the little ones, all the big ones. Captain Banana, good morning. That's right. Who hit it on the head? Banks are buying Ethereum to run their banks because they're going to start offering Bitcoin and Ethereum. That's always going to be the first. You have to have liquidity in a coin before you can offer services for that coin. That's the point. Ta-da! I know it's nuts. But that's what it is. So they've got to build up that liquidity. And they'll continuously build up that liquidity. And guess what? At some point, they're not going to be able to do it OTC, over the counter, right? They're not going to be able to do that behind the scenes. They're going to have to do that in public. They're going to have to do that in public. And what does that do? Yeah, things start to go up. There's going to come a point where you're not going to be able to do certain things behind the scenes. You're going to have to do them publicly. And as you do them publicly, the public becomes more aware. As the public becomes more aware, the public becomes more educated. As the public becomes more educated, they become investors. And more importantly, they become users of crypto. That's what we want. We want people using crypto. Ta-da. Ta-freaking-da. You know what you're going to start seeing? As crypto becomes more and more prevalent, more and more ubiquitous in the marketplace, you know what I think you're going to see? I think you're going to see throwaway crypto wallets. Wallets that are used only for purchases. People will transfer into that wallet and use those wallets so they can keep their other wallets hidden. I think that's one of the things that's going to happen. Just saying. What else we got going on? If you're looking at the numbers just looking across, it's kind of a big deal. It's kind of nice to look at, about what, 36 points rather between Ethereum and Bitcoin. Ethereum's been rising. Nobody was paying attention when I told them, pay attention to Ethereum, pay attention to Ethereum. I was blue in the face. You couldn't tell because, obvious reasons. But I was telling people, pay attention to this. Pay attention to Ethereum. Oh, Ethereum's dead. Ethereum's dying. Ethereum's this. Ethereum's that. Ethereum is still way better. I mean, I'm sorry, 325 compared to, 82. Everybody's talking about how Solana's the Ethereum killer. Nope, sorry. Not happening. Not happening. All it has to do is yeah. All it has to do is that. All it has to do is surpass Ethereum. That's all it has to do. Every time I hear somebody say that, I look at that person and I just, in my head, I say, shut the heck up. And then I start to realize I shouldn't be listening to that person. I do research on things and I'm like, oh, this guy's talking about, I'm going to turn him off. It's not that you disagree or agree with me. It's whether or not you say stupid stuff. And that's not the word I was going to use. It's too early in the day for that. Just saying. So I look at that and I just kind of go, yeah, good luck with that. I mean, have you paid attention? My eyes are like burning. Have you paid attention to Ethereum's Pectra upgrade? Have you been paying attention to the upgrade path that they're on right now? Because if you do, then you can see, holy moly, Ethereum is making moves. Developing more developer tools, making it easier for developers to develop on the platform. Ethereum is a part of what I call the connective tissue. Ethereum, Chainlink, BNB chain. There are certain things out there that are part of the connective tissue, beyond Bitcoin, let's not get it twisted, that really do make up the Web3 space. And people forget about them. Oh, they're quiet, nothing's happening, blah, 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 blah. And then you see them creep up like Ethereum. It wasn't that long ago. Ethereum was like, 18, 19. And it just kept going, just kept creeping along. It would bump up and fall down a little bit and bump up and fall down a little bit, but nobody was paying attention to it's just bumping up. Over the long haul, it's just bumping up. Just saying. Oh, then you have a couple of banks launch a new stable coin based on what? Ethereum. Yes, Solana's the other one, but Ethereum first. Just saying, pay attention. Pay attention. I'm not moving anything on the Solana network. I don't care what anybody says. I'm not doing that. I have trust issues. I absolutely have trust issues. Let me see. All right, so I want to take a look at the losers. This is the crypto tracker. We give you the GMB X factor. So on losers, there aren't that many losers, right? There aren't that many losers. Let me go down here. Let me see something. Yep, your biggest losers are down here, right? And who are they? Leo token is taking a hit. It's down 3-point-something%. I have a 5% rule. So is Leo token in my book actually down? Technically, yes. As according to my purchasing practice, no. Don't even think about it. And everybody else, I don't know about these things. So skip them. Go over to the winners. And all of a sudden you're talking some bigger noise. You're talking about, don't know about them. I've heard of Compound, never did any research on it. Aave is up 16.23% with a GMB X factor of 1.19. I told people don't sleep on Aave. People are wondering, what could I buy? Aave is going up and it's nowhere near its all-time high. Ta-da! It's a great project. I'm not recommending it to anybody. I'm recommending that you do your research. That's what I recommend. Do your own research, know your entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately. That's the GMB3. That's what I tell people to do. So Aave is something I would take a look at. No, I'm not mucking around with Farcoin, but it is up 13.8%. It's got a GMB X factor of 0.95. Dog with Hat is up 13.21% with a GMB X factor of 3.62. Do I think it can do it? Yes. Hyperliquid is up 11.94% with a GMB X factor of 0.01. That means it's at its all-time high. So you've got to do the math and make a determination of whether or not you believe that it is on an upswing. Just saying. Uniswap up 11.849%, GMB X factor of 5.16. Depends on, do you believe in Uniswap as a coin? As a token. Do you believe in it as a token? Not as a service. As a token. Pudgy Penguins is up 11.5% with a GMB X factor of 4.96. Again, another meme that I think could do it. Brett, same thing. Up 11.17% with a GMB X factor of 3.04. And do I think Brett could do it? Yep. EtherFi is not something that I follow, but I know people do. They're up 10.29% with a GMB X factor of 5.56. Do not ask me if I think they can do it. I have no idea. I have no idea whatsoever. BitTensor, Tau, is up 9% with a GMB X factor of 0.75. You're looking for opportunities to make money, and I'm telling you what the GMB X factor is. You can go out there and do your own research on a half of these things and go figure it out. Pepe is up 7.99%, basically 8%, with a GMB X factor of 1.18. Pepe can absolutely make that, in my humble opinion. Based on my research, that's what I believe. Some people have been talking about DeepBook for a minute. It's up 7.55% with a GMB X factor of 1.12. I have not done a deep dive on DeepBook. Have not. Right? But I know other people have been speaking about it, and there you go. There you go. So I'm sitting back and I'm looking at these numbers and I'm saying to myself, there are opportunities. There are serious opportunities. Do your own research, know your entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately. Anyway, everybody, this is Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. I hope you like what I'm doing. If you do me a favor, smash the likes, tell your friends about us, because this is the only community whose first job is to make sure that we all get educated about investing and not just in crypto. Anyway, thank you for your time. Thank you for your patience. And as always, thank you for your trust. Everybody have a great rest of your day, and I will see you tonight. Good morning, Rick Ritchie. I will see you tonight at 8 p.m. on the Crypto Overflow at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Have a good one, everybody. Bye-bye.